You know the type of people I hate the most? It's the ones who see an act of self-defense or see somebody protecting another group of people and they get on Twitter and decide to say, oh, well, you should have found a different avenue to handle this situation because it wasn't right for you to do the thing that you did, not realizing that in the moment, nobody's going to think of some Looney Tunes way to put somebody in a trap door or hit them with an Acme ball. They're going to sit there and think, what's the quickest way to deal with the situation so that I can protect myself, the victim, and anybody else that's in the vicinity. And yet these Twitter wannabe high ground moral activists seem to think their way is the right way because instead of living in the real world, they live in Candyland. I don't know how many of you know about this, but there's a situation with an ex-boyfriend, an ex-girlfriend, they break up and the boyfriend shows up to her house. He tries to get into the house. They say no. He tries to force his way into the house and the dad says, oh, really, fool, and puts 3 into him.
Talked with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office about where this case stands today and why the shooter might not face charges.
And News Center 7's Kayla McDermott spent the day in Sydney. She talked with a neighbor who saw the shooting, and doorbell camera captured this violence.
2 days ago, a shooting happened right here at this home in Shelby County, and we just received video of what happened. This doorbell video shows the moment 22-year-old James Rail walks up the steps to his ex-girlfriend's home on Cuther Road in Sydney. Seconds later, he's told to leave. You can hear the homeowners say, but Rail decides to bang on the door, trying to force his way in.
He's trying the door. Dad. No, don't answer the dad.
The Shelby County Sheriff's Office says this is the moment when Rail broke the front door and began to go inside.
And my dad shot at him.
To immediately be hit with 3 bullets. That 911 call was made by Rail's alleged ex-girlfriend who lives in the home. In that call, you can hear the fear in her voice as the operator asks her to check on Rail.
I don't want to look. Please don't make me look.
One person did look, though. Next-door neighbor Jeffrey Herford said he saw everything, as well as Rail on the ground.
Just a shallow breathing. I was looking at the guy's hands. He didn't have any gun in his hands or anything.
Herford does not agree with the neighbors or the police report. He says from what he saw, Rail never made it inside.
I don't see that. If he entered the house, why did he shoot through the door?
But with the new stand your ground laws here in the state, Ohioans do not have to back down if they feel threatened on their own property.
Well, I think he had every right.
Which in the 911 call, you can hear the daughter agree with.
Dad, at that rate, there's nothing you could have done. You saved my life.
Now, I spoke to Sheriff James Fry here at the Shelby County Sheriff's Office. He told me that this case will go to a grand jury on Thursday, where he believes it will be tossed out thanks to the new stand your ground laws here in Ohio.
And of course, when somebody on Twitter who pretends to be the moral police sees that, of course, they're going to come with some stupid takes. Just randomly killing people is still fucked. It wasn't random. He tried to break into a house. Guy didn't even have a gun. The dad just wanted a reason to kill him. I think the reason was perfect. Man tried to break into somebody's home. He's on camera. Doesn't matter. I can think of half a dozen steps to take before opening fire, but gun-toting Jesus freaks love to show off their Second Amendment rights. Fucking Hicks. It has nothing to do about being a Jesus freak or a gun toter or your Second Amendment rights or being somebody who's just a hick. It's about making sure that in this situation, you protect yourself, your daughter, and everybody else in the house. I don't really see how anybody could make this about anything else. This was actually a good point. He was literally breaking into their home. They had no idea what he intended to do in there. They were in danger, which is true. He could have came in there to fight the girl. He could have came in there to beat the girl. He could have did some unconsensual touching of the girl if nobody was there. Thankfully, the dad was, and the dad put 3 into him. That's a good point. The response is the problem. It was totally unjustified, and the dad shouldn't be able to bear arms. Yes, because in a world where there's a bunch of sickos everywhere, there's a bunch of people who don't value other people's lives, it's impossible for you as somebody who's an American citizen who's doing the things lawfully, who wants to protect his family, you should be unable to bear arms. I bet it was an AR-15 too. This is murder. If the victim were a random guy, it'd be self-defense. But let's be real. The dad knew the guy. He was probably with the daughter for years. She probably cheated on him with a black guy, and he came to discipline her. Fat 100 IQ daddy sims for princess and murders. Okay, couple of things. Number one, if she cheated on him, who cares? Move on with your life. Go fuck her mom. Perfect excuse to do it. But to sit there and think that it's only self-defense if they don't know the guy, even in the situation where the guy they know is trying to break into their home, is a dumbass take. I don't care if you're a random hobo on the street or my mother. If you breaking into my house unannounced, you're gonna have to deal with the consequence of dealing with me when I'm sitting peacefully beating my meat in my secluded chair. This was the dumbest take of them all. Well, you know, kids are pretty damn stupid, but to fire 3 rounds into an unarmed man seems to be like the motherfucker with the gun is pretty much a chicken shit. Don't have a bat, doesn't have enough balls to protect his daughter without killing the boy. That looks like a kid to me. Guess what? Wasn't a kid, 22 years old. And I'm honestly sick of a bunch of people trying to police the way people go about self-defense. I've told y'all time and time and again, people are not going to go with the Disneyland way of handling this. They're going to handle it the best way they can to protect themselves and protect their family. And anybody who has a child, I don't care if they're 1 or 100 years old, you're going to do what you want to do to protect them. And if somebody who's broken up with them and they have detailed information about them being verbally abusive and being a dick to not just them, but also their friends, and also taking drugs, and also just being an overall bad human being.
When was the final breakup, approximately?
We moved into the house. I want to say maybe 2019 or 2020, I'm not positive.
Okay. What caused that breakup?
He was just being
Okay.
Sorry,
No.
I'm sorry.
We're all adults here. You can say whatever you need to say.
He was just being rude all the time, and I was just like, I don't want to put up with it.
So you broke up in 2019. Did you remain friends after that?
Not that last time, no. I said I didn't want to have anything to do with them anymore after that.
Are you Facebook acquaintances or anything like that where you could have kept on the eye on what you were doing? Okay.
I had blocked him on everything that I could have.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Right. When you guys pulled in, did you get right out of the car? Or?
Yeah, I'm very anxious.
Okay.
I'm in and out. I can't.
That's fine. Okay, so you got into the house, and then what happened?
As soon as I got up to the door and was walking inside, that's when he got out, and I seen him walking up, so I slammed the door really fast, and I locked it. And I told Mom and Dad, so Mom yelled downstairs and got Dad upstairs for us.
Okay, so Dad was downstairs?
Yeah, he's in the basement.
You have like a finished basement?
Yeah.
Or, okay,
Like
like
his little
family
area.
room? Dad's cave?
Yeah.
Okay. So then Dad came upstairs? Does he know why he's coming upstairs at that point?
She said James was here.
Okay.
And he already had told Clay that he didn't want James back at the house.
Okay. When you were dating James, did Mom and Dad like him? Did they get along with him?
They had. Yeah.
He was respectful of
Yes,
them?
Yes, very,
Okay.
very nice. Never did anything to make him be like, you know.
Did James get along with his family?
With his mom and his stepdad, yeah, I'm not sure about his biological dad.
Okay,
Because
so his
I
mom
know
and
they
dad
were
are divorced?
separated, yeah.
Okay. Do they live in Sydney as well?
I think his mom and his stepdad do. I don't know about his dad.
Okay. What's his mom's name, do you know? If you don't remember.
I
it's
don't.
okay.
I'm sorry. It's been
It's
a
okay.
couple.
So they live in Sydney. He got along with Mom and stepdad, but not so much Dad?
Yeah, as far as that's what it came off as when he was always talking about him.
Okay. And your family, he was always respectful of them?
Yeah, very nice.
Do you know how he acted when he was told, possibly by Clay, that they really weren't comfortable with him being there?
No.
You hadn't, Clay didn't tell
No,
you
but
anything?
he's not a talker anyway.
Okay,
So,
okay. Keeps everything to himself?
yeah.
Okay, so Dad comes upstairs. Where is your downstairs door? I didn't go all through your house. So if you
Did
come
you
in
see the garage door and all? I don't know.
if you go in the back sliding glass doors?
Yeah, so we're in that little room where the sliding door is,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go out to where the living room is, and there's that little hallway right there.
Okay,
The garage door is right here,
okay.
and that little chute where the laundry room is, and then the basement door is right there, right
Okay.
next to it.
All right. So he came upstairs,
Yeah.
and then what happened?
And then I kept looking at Mom. I was like, I'm just gonna call the cops. I was like, I don't wanna deal with it. I was like, there's no use. He's not gonna listen. She's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. And then we tried talking to him through the ring a couple times, and he just like had his head down, his hand behind his back. And Dad's like, well, I don't like that.
Did he knock at first, or was he just
He
standing
kept
there?
ringing the doorbell.
So he did
Yeah.
keep ringing the doorbell? Okay.
And once the ring doorbell rings, when you start talking to it, it just starts recording.
Okay.
So you can hear Dad and Mom both, because I was like, I don't want to talk to him. Saying, hey man, like, she doesn't want to talk to you, it's best if you just leave for right now. If she wants to reach out, she will. And he just stood there and kept ignoring him. So then Dad went out through the garage and he didn't go around the corner or anything. He just stood there and was like, "Hey, man," trying to get him to answer, and nothing. And then he started to fiddle with the door handle.
Okay.
And Dad's like, "I don't like that." So he goes and gets his gun just in case.
And where does Dad keep his gun?
In his bedroom, I believe. I think it's in the nightstand next to his side, but
Okay.
I'm not positive.
Okay.
So he's standing there, we're still talking to him through the ring, saying, "Hey, you need to stop." And he's like, now he's like really busting on the door. So Dad goes over and starts holding it shut. But I don't even know how, because you saw my dad, I hope he's a big man. He starts like overpowering my dad, and I'm just like, okay.
So your dad's on the other side of the door
Yeah,
physically
yeah.
holding it shut?
Oh, I was already on the phone with 911 at this point, I forgot that.
That's okay, that's okay.
And she's trying to get my information. Dad's holding the door. Mom's freaking out. And then, like, I don't know how he broke the glass to the door, but he, like, broke the glass. The door frame, whatever that's called, the jamb or whatever, splits off. He's starting to get in. And then I freak out and I go run and hide because I didn't know what to do.
Before that, were you all in the living room?
Yeah, we were all standing right there next to the fireplace. Me and Mom were.
Okay.
Over here. He's still at the door. I didn't even see when he shot or anything. I just heard it. I literally hit most of the time.
That's okay. I probably would have done the same thing. And then, do you remember much after that, after hearing the shots?
I screamed a bunch.
Okay.
And then I really, like, started freaking out. It's like, oh my God.
Okay.
And then after that, well, then our two neighbors ran over because they heard the shots.
Okay. If you're looking at your house, was it the neighbors over to the right or to the left?
If we're looking at the house, it would be the ones on the,
Okay.
that side.
The north side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're fine. Neither am I.
And then, they start trying to go over to him and see if he's okay, and Mom's yelling. She opened the window and said, "No, don't go over there," because we didn't know if he had anything.
Right.
And we didn't want them to get hurt. We didn't want them to get injured or anything if he shot back up, so they stayed there. And then I think maybe like 5 minutes later, then you guys all got out there.
Okay. Do you know, so if Dad's holding the door and he broke that frame, I didn't see the frame was all busted, and he was kind of pushing your dad off of the door?
Yeah.
Now, if you don't remember, you don't remember, but did Dad take a step back, or
I don't
before
know.
he shot, you don't
I
remember?
don't know. I honestly, I wasn't even like seeing him.
Okay. And then after it was over, where'd everybody go? Where did Dad go?
He set the gun down and walked away.
Okay. Did he go out the front door, or did he
No,
kind of come through the kitchen and up the...
I think he stood in the kitchen.
Okay.
Mom grabbed me because I thought I was going to throw up. And then we sat on the living room floor for a little bit. And that's it. I think that's all that happened.
Okay. Do you know if he was on any drugs, or has he ever done any drugs that you know of?
He has done drugs.
Okay. Do you know what his drug of choice is?
He liked to do acid a lot
Okay.
back then. I don't know about recent. Because he moved out to California not too long ago and then came back, so I don't know if he like started something while he was out there.
Gotcha. When did he come back? How long has he been back in town, do you know?
I want to say maybe a year.
Okay.
It's not too long, but not like recent either, but
How long was he living out there?
maybe about a year also.
Okay. So back then when you were dating him and kind of friends with him, acid was his...
Acid and weed, and I don't know what else he did other than that.
Was he ever on meth or heroin or anything that you
I
know
don't know.
of? Okay.
I don't think he would have told me because he knew I didn't like it.
Right. And that was his car that he was driving that you know of?
Last time I saw him driving a car, he had a red car.
Okay,
So I don't know about.
That's fine. And then you guys just kind of went outside once...
Yeah, they had us go sit out
Officers
in the
came
back.
in?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm really sorry that this happened to you today. This is not how anyone wants their days to go, for
Yeah.
sure. Is there anything about him that you think we should know, about his personality? Has he ever threatened anybody before? Was he like a
No,
fighter?
I thought he was always very nice. I mean, he worked out all the time. I don't know if like he did any boxing or anything. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, he was okay in high school, but then after he came back from California, he just was different. Like his close friends or whatever, he just started treating like crap, and nobody wanted to deal with it.
Do you know if he had a current girlfriend?
Not sure.
You would think if that person showed up and wanted to hold a conversation, wanted to be honest about it, and was just like, can I speak to Heather, please? And everybody said no. Cool. Go about your life. It ain't gonna work out. Handle it a different way if you can. But overall, if it's over, it's over. I get that we all have our first heartbreaks. I get that we all like to feel sad for the moment. I get that we all like to deal with depression. We want to get somebody back. Sometimes it could work. Sometimes it won't work. And when it doesn't work, you got to deal with it and move on. But to try to force your way into somebody's home and think nothing was gonna happen, you think you could just break in somebody's home and be like, I want you back, and she would say, oh, come get me. No, somebody is going to fuck you up. They either gonna beat you within an inch of your life or they're going to shoot you. Why? Because you forced your way into somebody else's home. I don't understand how people are gonna have this weird caveman mindset and say, oh, it looks a little bit unjustified. You shouldn't have really did that there, sir. I feel as though you had no right to do that. You are putting at risk not only your life, but your daughter's life because you want to pretend to be the moral high ground on Twitter. Give it up. You know, if somebody were to rob you or to break into your house, you are going to try something. You are going to prevent them from stealing, whether if it's getting a bat, whether if it's beating them, or whether if it's shooting them. None of these options are bad. It's the demonizing somebody going with the third option that's the problem. Because guess what? Not everybody's going to see a criminal and say, let me get on all fours for you, daddy. They're not going to say, let's play Connect 4. They're not going to say, oh, take everything. People are going to defend themselves. Give up this game where you think you could just candidly say, I have the right idea, because you don't. You cannot police an entire country of people on what to do in a situation where they want to defend themselves. They could run somebody over with a car. It won't matter. They are making sure that everybody in their vicinity is safe. And if you take issue with that, if you hold any problem with that, if you see that as an opportunity for you to give a stupid hot take, I got one question in mind. Can I come rob you? And if the answer is yes, I'm coming with a pillowcase and dreams in my eyes. If the answer is no, you a hypocrite. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.